Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Synced Up Equipment Basics. My name is Kyle, and today we're going to be learning how to do pool hits. It's going to be a fun one because pool hits are the introduction into tossing a flag. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel down below and hit that bell icon so you can be notified with any of our future uploads. Now let's go ahead and start learning how to toss. So when it comes to pool hits, they are the initial and beginning stepping stone to tossing. They build you up over time to get to those higher tosses. Pool hits teach you how to use explosive and large energy to get a toss out, as well as stop a toss from rotating and catch it. So it's really important to make sure that you are paying attention to hand placement, control of timing, and how much energy you need to get a rotation out. We're going to be going over three main positions, which will be the vertical, the angle, and the flat position for all of these pool hits. If you haven't yet, please make sure to go watch our previous video on what is a flag and the different holding positions, because that gives you a nice solid base of knowledge to use when we're talking about the things in this video. So we're going to start with our vertical pool hits. My silk is down right now. I'm going to take my right hand and place it at the tab with my thumb facing up towards the bottom crutch tip. And I'm going to take my left hand and place it at the bottom tape. Again, my thumb is facing up towards the bottom crutch tip. I'm going to bring this flag directly in front of me in this vertical position. My left hand, or the top hand, is in line with my face, and my right hand is in line with my belly button. I'm going to take this hand and I'm just going to pull the silk out to the side to make sure I clear it and it has room to spin. This position is our starting position and our catching position. So go ahead and take a second just to feel what this feels like and make sure that you have this embedded in your brain, because this is what you're going to go to when you go to catch this pull hit as well. To start, I'm going to begin by pulling my left hand down and pulling my right hand up. It's super important to know that when you're doing a pull hit, you have to use the energy of both hands equally. If I just use my right hand or I just use my left hand, I'm not gonna get the outcome I want, and I'll go into detail of why that is in a second. So I start in my vertical position, and I'm gonna begin by pulling both of my hands in opposition. So my left hand pulls down and my right hand pulls up. Up to this flat position is a pass through, and then I go up to the angle. When I get to the angle, this is going to be when I let go. So I want to make sure I pull very quickly and with energy to get to that angle. So go ahead and take a few reps on your own where you just start in this vertical position and then you pull to that angle position as quick as humanly possible. Give yourself a count off and go 5, 6, 7, 8, pull to count 1. So that'll look like this: 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. You want to make sure that you get all the way to that angle by count 1, not later than count 1. If you're doing that, then you have about the right energy that you need. Be careful that you don't overlift this right hand. You're just going to be pulling it up to the opposite angle here. So as that right hand goes up, the left hand goes down. I'm not letting the right hand overcompensate and lift the flag up. Once I reach that angle, that's when I can let go of the flag. So be careful that you don't stop at the angle and then try and let go again. It's a continuous motion. When you feel that flag reach that angle right there, my hands can let go. The silk is going to round over to the side of my body, come around to the bottom, and that's when I'm going to put my hand back on the pole in the position we started again. So from here, I release at that angle, it rotates around, and then I re-grab back at that vertical position where we started. So to do one pull hit, I'll demonstrate that real fast. You'll go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. You'll release on count 1, you'll catch on count 2. So my hands pulled in opposition, they let go at that top angle with energy, and then they reinitiated back in that vertical position back where they started. To do this on the other side, all I have to do is take that top hand, place it at the tab, take the opposite hand, place it up at the bottom tape. Both thumbs are facing up towards the crutch tip. I want to take the silk and I want to move it to the opposite side because it's going to travel this way and I don't want it to catch in the pull. Move it to the opposite side, and all I do is I pull all the way up to that angle, and I do the exact same thing as I did on the other side where I go in for the catch after I release at that angle, stopping at that pure vertical one more time. So when you're doing a pull hit, you want to make sure that you are not letting the flag rise super high up into the air. That happens because the hand that's at the tab is lifting too much and you're not using enough of the energy of the hand on top. So you want to make sure you use the energy of both of your hands and pull to keep the flag in front of you as much as possible. It doesn't lift super high. It rotates, and there's a moment with both of your hands aren't touching it, but it stays low and in front of you as much as possible. So now that we've gone over pull hits in the vertical position, I want to talk about pull hits in the angle position. It's the exact same approach, except you're going to start at that hip-shoulder angle that we've talked about in the previous video, and you're also going to end at this angle. So you'll pull all the way up to this angle. This is going to be the same release point. I pull up, I let go. It's going to rotate around, and I'll stop it when it reaches the opposite angle. So as a demonstration, I go 5, 6, 7, 8, pull and squeeze. Yeah, again, making sure that the flag does not rise super high. It stays nice and in front of me, and I'm using the energy of both hands. To do the other side, same thing. I just take the opposite hand, place it at the tab, take the other hand, place it at the bottom tape. I pull up to the angle, it rotates around, and I go in for my catch at the angle. So a demo of that will be 5, 6, 7, 8, and pull and squeeze. Again, making sure I'm not lifting super high with the pull hit. And then the last position is going to be our flat position. This one's going to be just a little bit different. So I want you to start with let's do our right side first. We're going to take our left hand and we're going to place it under at the top tape. So the tape that's closest to the tab right now. And then I'm going to take that right hand and place it over about 1/3 into the silk. So the same distance that my hand is from the tab on the tape, that's the distance I want to be into the silk. It's about 1/3 of the way into the silk itself. So this is where I start in my flat position. My hands are just slightly outside or in line with my shoulders right now, and my elbows are boxed out. My flag is in line with my waist. I'm gonna pull both my right and my left hand, but I wanna emphasize more of a crossing motion with those hands. To get this flat, you wanna think about adding more energy to rotate it more so it gets all the way around back to flat. And that means I have to take it over to this angled cross position. So when I start, I pull both of my hands with equal energy to cross them over, and I'll let go at this angle. The flag will rotate around, and as it comes back up to this flat, I place my hands back to where they started. So every pull hit will start and end in the same position. As I go through, I start in this flat position, I pull to the angle, I'll let go, it rotates around and I catch. So a quick demo of that. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, pull and hit. Again, really emphasizing that cross. If I don't cross enough, I'm really gonna catch at an angle, and that's not gonna get me all the way to my flat. I wanna make sure I cross as much as possible so I can get it all the way back to flat position. And again, to do it on the other side, I just switch. I take that left hand, place it on top of the silk, take that right hand, place it underneath at the tab, or sorry, not the tab, the top tape. And then I go through the same process, pulling with both my hands all the way to the angle, trying to find that cross, allowing it to rotate, and then pulling it back to flats. So I've gone over in detail how to put energy into the release of the flag. I want to go into a little bit more detail of how to put energy into the catch of the flag. When it comes to catching a flag, you want to avoid this idea of releasing and kind of accepting the weight of the flag. It gives off a weak looking catch. You want to really try and make sure that you're stopping the flag in whatever angle that you're looking to stop it in. There's a few things that we can do with this. When it comes to our hands, we want to make sure we spread them apart. So when we started in the vertical or the angle, one hand was at the tab and one hand was at the bottom tape. I want to make sure that those hands end in those same positions after the pull hit as well. If I end with my hands super close together, there's more weight on either side of my hands, which can allow the flag to wobble back and forth on the catch. So you want to make sure you counteract that by spreading your hands apart. Even in the flat position, my hands are spread apart right here. If I catch flat with my hands super close together, my flag will wobble. So I want to make sure I stop it and don't allow it to wobble side to side. Along with this, when you think about the rotation of the flag, if I'm doing a right pull hit and I'm catching it at the vertical, the flag is going to be going in this direction. So it starts here, it's finishing its rotation. My left hand, or the hand that's reaching up to that bottom tape, is going in opposition of the flag. It's going counteracting the motion. So if I think about utilizing that counteracting energy and utilizing my boxed out shaping of my arms to stop the flag, that'll really help. As opposed to just kind of accepting the weight of the flag and letting it fall into your hands, you're really thinking about kind of punching it and stopping it from rotating over time. So when it comes to counting the rotation, all of these pull hits are one singular rotation. And we know that because we start with our pull up and we end with the pull up. Whenever you start in one position and you end in that same position, you know you've done somewhere in range of a full rotation. It may be 2 full rotations, it may be 3 full rotations, it may be 1, but it's not a half rotation. If I started with my pole up and I end with my silk up, that's how I know I've done some sort of a half rotation, either a half, a single and a half, double and a half, so on and so forth. So as you're doing these pull hits, just double check and make sure that you're allowing it to do one single rotation where the silk passes over one time and then it ends back in that same position. Even with flat, I'm starting with my pole to the left side of my body, my silk passes over one time and I end with my pole back on the left side of my body again. Vice versa with the opposite sides, it's still the same thing. If it's in my left hand, my pole starts up and then it will end up. That is one singular rotation. So the last little puzzle piece that I want to talk about is going to be your body alignment. Everything we've talked about in terms of body alignment in previous videos still apply, but when it comes to doing a pull hit, you want to try and keep your body as still as possible. The tendency for some people as they do pull hits is to utilize a lot of their upper torso or their shoulders to get a pull hit out. You want to avoid that. 1, it looks awkward. 2, it feels awkward. And 3, it actually hinders you from being able to get the toss out properly. So make sure that you're trying to really just isolate your arms, keeping your shoulders still and every other part of your body still as you're going through pull hits. Really engage your core so you have a strong, stable center and nothing really moves as you're going through this exercise. So just to recap everything we've gone over today, we talked about how to do pull hits in vertical, angle, and flat, discussing things such as hand placement for the release and the catch, as well as the energy you need going into the release of a toss and the catch of the toss. We also talked about how to count rotation. If you start with the pull up and you end with the pull up, that's a full rotation. And then we also talked about our body alignment overall, making sure that it stays super still as we go through this exercise. Pull hits are not super easy to do when you first start out with them, and that's okay. So I would really recommend just taking the time to practice them on your own time, taking it slowly, really working through the technique of it. Use a mirror or a phone if you have it, so that way you're able to look at yourself and see what you're doing and see different things that you can fix over time. And that was our video on pull hits. These are the first steps into getting into some larger tosses, so I'm really excited to move forward into those bigger tosses with you in the future videos. But for now, I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it super helpful. If you can, please make sure you leave a like and comment down below any questions you may have about pull hits or really anything about flag, or if you have anything you'd like to see in future videos. Anyways, I'll leave you guys to it. Good luck with your pull hits, and I'll see you in the next video.